Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Joining me today is Srikumar Kannan, the unflappable one, and he's going to discuss something very, very interesting. Let's welcome Srikumar Kannan. Srikumarji, namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you?
Namaskaram, sir. I'm fine. How about you?
I'm doing very well. Srikumar, one thing I like about the budget is the transaction tax on derivatives. And I'll explain to you why, guys. First, let's listen to Srikumar about what he thinks about this budget.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. As everyone were expecting, the union budget was presented today by Nirmala Sitharamanji, and we have to congratulate her by all means for a simple fact that she has presented her ninth budget in a row, and she is the longest serving finance minister in a row, without any breaks. So in that way, we have to congratulate her. And going by the way that the situations that she inherited, the time of her becoming the finance minister in the year 2019. The next year was COVID, and after a couple of years, there was Ukraine-Russia war, and there was a global uncertainties, and there was we know that it was not a full-fledged government in 2024. Later, it was the tariff issues, the geopolitical uncertainties. So, given the situation and the tightrope what she has to adopt, she has presented a fairly good budget. Today, as a student of economics, I want to present you the basic facts about this budget. Number one, this budget is not related to any elections. So it is a future-oriented budget. It was more without any much fanfare, captions, or any sloganeering. Such type of cosmetic issues were not there. It was less populist. It was more reformist. It was more into fiscal prudence. We are now into the pre-COVID time. So if you take you through the figures, we were about 4.6% of fiscal deficit during the pre-COVID time. Now, the fiscal discipline was warranted about, given the global uncertainties, we have to bring it below 4.5%. That was what mentioned in the year 2020-21. And now she has done it. So the last year, it was the revised budget estimates shows that it was 4.4%. And the next year budget, it is about 4.3%. And the revenue deficit is maintained at 1.5%. It's very fairly good. So in that case, whatever may be the directions, her direction was only two. Number one, the investment in capital, infrastructure, and the second, maintaining the fiscal prudence. So these were the two major categories she was focused on. And I will leave it to Mr. Shri Iyer. Now, going forward, we will see how to take it forward, because I want to talk less on economics, because people will be bored with that subject, I know.
Well, you gave me the hard part. Here's I like. One is tax holiday for people who are going to put up data centers in India till 2047. That's 21 years. Takes about a year or two to put it up. So that's a good investment for the likes of companies like Google, Oracle, Amazon, and so on and so forth. These are the ones who have already got data centers. I know there are some Indian startups that are also having data centers. The business model can be a little tricky. This at least gives them a way to try and plan, offset the return on investment on a longer time frame. That's a very good thing. Second thing I really like is the transaction tax on, I don't know what categories, but I'm hearing derivatives and maybe some other things also in the stock market. I'll tell you one thing. Indian stock market is very shallow, and a lot of rigging goes on, and there's a player and there's a counter player. And I actually wrote a book about it. And I'll give you what I found out when I was doing the research for this book. I'm going to just play this thing. 1 minute of your time, yours, please do watch it. If you really need to know, you need to buy the book. It's only 80 to 90 pages long. It's not very big, but it tells you how rigged the Indian stock market is. And by putting a transaction tax on that, that hits the reality, Oh, okay, well, first thing they are going to do is this. Maybe they'll also start tightening the screws, because I'm also hearing that the SEBI has given clearance for NSE to go public. They don't need to go public. They are corrupt as hell. If they go public, the likes of the person that I'm going to mention about in the book will become billionaires, not even millionaires. Okay, let's just play. I hope this is just a rumor.
When regulators become the riggers. In C Company, the curtain is pulled back on the darkest corners of Indian high finance. This investigative masterpiece documents the systematic destruction of Jignesh Shah, an innovator who dared to challenge a deep-seated monopoly. Sri Iyer meticulously maps the C Company, a ruthless nexus of politicians, bureaucrats, and bankers that allegedly manipulated the National Stock Exchange for personal gain. This isn't just a business biography. It is a chilling case study of institutional sabotage and the high-stakes game of market rigging that left the Indian marketplace distorted and the Make in India dream in ruins. For investors and analysts seeking the unvarnished truth, this book provides an authoritative account of how wealth was amassed, rivals were crushed, and the system was weaponized against the very people it was designed to protect.
I hope that the SEBI approval for NSE to go live is just a mere rumor. You have the QR code for the book. You can click on the QR code and order the book. It's, I think, 100 rupees or something like a very, very low price. But it's a very rich documentation in the sense that you have got a lot of color drawings. It tells you, very graphically how money was routed, how money was made during the UPA regime of 10 years. And you had the one person sitting in Singapore, the other person sitting in Dubai. I won't tell you who. You can read the book to find out who these two illuminaries are. And they made money hand over fist. And with the finance minister sitting at the top and telling them what he's going to do, joke. That's what NSE was when the 10 years took place. The Modi government did not really do much changes. Despite this book came 8 years ago, Srikumar. I screamed from every rooftop. Nothing has happened so far. The only thing that they're trying to do now is this transaction tax. This is not enough. A lot more has to happen. And if you're really going to be a Vishwaguru, you need to have confidence of the investors in the stock market. What we now have are people with extra money and they're doing day trading. And you know what they day trade on, Srikumar? HDFC Bank. Daily they'll trade. It'll go up, it'll go down, it'll go. What is the bank doing? What are you trying to do every day on a daily basis that makes you, I want to day trade this, or because they're going to have this new scheme that's going to give, loans at 0% interest? Yeah, dream on, right? Nothing is ever 0%. So this is just a joke. I'm glad that transaction tax is coming, but I'll be super glad if NSE is not allowed to go public. There's no reason to go public. All the people who have had money in the bag, they've gone scot-free. And Himalayan Yogi, what a bullshit joke that was. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Let's go on to the next one, which is what you want to talk about, which is the shifting sands in the politics of Tamil Nadu. Over to you.
Before that, I want to touch some more points in budget itself, because otherwise I will be doing a big disgrace to the budget. Yeah, a couple of points. Number one, as a continuation to what Mr. Shear said regarding the cloud companies which wanted to set up their business in India. So the major plan for India is to target those companies who want to invest. See, other than US, they can't go to China. So the India is opening the market in such a way that up to 2047 it will be giving a tax holidays, inviting the global millionaires or business companies or corporates to set up their business in India, so that it will not generate a direct employment, but it will create an indirect employment, because there should be some infrastructure relating to that. We have to establish a digital infrastructure for the same. and it will create an indirect employment opportunities for a lot of people. That is one thing. And second thing, and when those establishments are being set up, the services being offered are also subject to tax, and the government will also earn revenue out of tax. So that is also one of the meaning. So along with that, around 12.2 lakh crore rupees has been set aside for the capital investment, which is about more than 1 lakh crore from the earlier one. So because if you see ourselves and China, we were moving at par until the year 80s, early 80s or something. And later we slowed down, India as a country, we slowed down, and China overtook us, and it leaped forward. So the major reason being the capital infrastructure provisions, which we failed to tap. So I'm glad that there is a consistency in Mr. Modi's policy to maintain the capital infrastructure investment and the budgetary allocation to that. So every year there is a continuous increase in the capital infrastructure budget allocation, and we are finding it. But still, it is not enough, I will say. But there is no money in the hands of the government at present, considering the other issues. So they did their best. And regarding one more thing, so in anticipation to the global economic uncertainties and the US tariffs in particular, uh, last year, Mr. Modi, he and along with his government, he did two main aspects. Number one, increased the direct tax up to rupees 12 lakhs, so putting more money in the hands of the people. On the other side, they did a lot of reforms, with particularly related to GST, reducing their price, the GST rates in most of the goods during a festive season in particular. It was implemented during the Shara time, so that to boost the domestic consumption. So when a country like America, it imposes a big number of tariff on India, so India as a country has to rely mostly on the global domestic consumption rather than relying on the global exports. So in such a situation, pushing the consumers to buy more, it was the prime objective of the government last year, and which they succeeded. Despite the reduction of direct tax and GST, there is a stability is being maintained in the revenue receipts of the government, especially in the taxation area. And lastly, there are some couple of other points, like there is a dedicated freight corridor which is being announced from the east to west, that is from Dankuni of West Bengal to Surat of Gujarat, the 7 high-speed train corridor, the 20 inland waterways in addition to the existing one to be developed over a period of 5 years, because they want to increase the the share of cargo through in waterways from 6 to 12% in about until about 2047. It is their plan that to increase the cargo terminal of inland waterways, and finally to set up some all India Ayurvedic institutes all over the country. About 3 institutes have been planned to set up. These are the major announcements, other than what Mr. Shrey was mentioned about the increase of STT, the security transaction tax. So what I feel is we cannot expect, unlike other governments, the Modi government is not like a risk-taking government as far as economics is concerned. So they want a status quo to be maintained. They want the direction to be not deviated. So on one side, they are maintaining the fiscal prudence. So they wanted to maintain that. It was 4% during their time when they inherited the government during 2014. It was 4%, the fiscal deficit. So they are towards it. Again, they wanted to bring that to 4.3 to 4.4 percentage, less than that. And to maintain capital infrastructure on the other hand, and to increase job opportunities indirectly through them. This is the road or direction what the government is lying. So I will leave it at this time regarding the budget. So next, as Mr. Sheyer asked, let us shift to Tamil Nadu relating to the politics.
Srikumar, tell me something. How much of all this is, smoke and mirrors, and how much is reality? Because what I'm also seeing is on the ground, right? I mean, I've been moving around the state. On the ground, there is a lot of pent up anger against the DMK government for various reasons. Each one is upset for something or the other. I mean, they see, the thing is, this has spectacularly misfired on them, that 1,000 rupees a month. You know why? Because they gave 1,000 rupees and then they hiked the electricity fees by 500 rupees. Even at the lowest slab, I heard. So I was like, what the hell did I get? I mean, so people are, and they realize that this little bit of stuff that they are giving, they are making it up by charging you more on many other things. And then when people ask the then electricity minister, why is the electricity supply down here? He said that squirrel ate it. and unbelievable reasons. This is a minister. This minister is so arrogant that when his inner circle, Benamis, whatever you want to call it, was raided regarding his assets, these buggers were brazen enough to attack the income tax officials and actually broke the hand of a lady income tax officer. Of course, then what happened was this man spent a lot of time in jail, I think a year and some months, but he's out and he's not willing to resign his minister position. And somehow, very great mind. Supreme Court doesn't seem to have a problem with it. The center doesn't seem to have a problem with it. Nobody seems to have a problem with it. So this is what DMK government is. But people are all watching all these things. They see that these guys will destroy Hinduism if you give them another 5 years. 100%. But destroy means what? Nobody can go to a temple. That's exactly what they've tried to do with Tiruppuram Kundram. Because that light was seen from 8 different hills around that place, and they all would light it. So people didn't have to come to Tiruppuram Kundram to see it. Once the light was lit in Tiruppuram Kundram, the other 8 hills also will light theirs, and everybody around us, 50 to 100 square kilometer radius could watch this stuff. So brazen, words fail me. This is what is DMK. I hope it's a one-term government. You tell me, sir, are they going to go or not?
Oh, it's a very interesting one, because the year in which 2021 the government inherited, we inherited the Tamil Nadu government of DMK, but it was not as easy they thought. So when Edappadi Palaniswamy government was stripped off from power electorally in 2021, if you see, the DMK, through alliance on one hand, through catchy promises, and through the media ecosystem, only a combination of these 3 they were able to come to power. Without these 3, the DMK wouldn't have come to power in the year 2021. Take, for example, 2019. The media narrative was so powerful that they got more than 50% of votes, and in all the seats, the 39 seats, the margin was about more than 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs. But I am talking about 2019, followed by 2021. It was not so. The ADMK regained its position during that time, and it was struggling for DMK. So they have to come out with catchy slogans, promises like 1,000 rupees per women household. So all these things were given. After they came to power, so they appointed the so-called eminent economists as the advisory committee. I am still awaiting. 5 years have gone, headed by people like Raghuram Rajan, Aravind Subramaniam. What their recommendations were, how many times they have met, what is the minutes of the meeting, how many recommendations they have given, how many recommendations were considered, adopted, and what's the result, nobody knows. So, but the headline management was the USP of the DMK government. Along with that, if you could see, rather than the rolling out some monetary benefits like 1,000 rupees per women household, free bus rides, And during Pongal time, they gave some cash doles. Other than that, the government was a disaster, particularly the law and order issue, the control of drugs, the flow of liquor, uh, and no, the economic situation, because the fiscal deficit was increasing. It's still increasing, and more than that, there were no effective investments in the state. Though they were saying that we are going to those many countries to bring investment, it was not, all these MOUs were just in paper, and nothing concrete has been made so far. And other than this, there is a sort of a social uh, uh, social negligence, I would say. There was a complete breakdown of the governance issue. They may say so many things, but the political atmosphere was so conducive for the DMK that because ADMK was divided, the BJP was hated by the Tamil Nadu people because of thanks to the ecosystem built by the DMK. There were no effective counters to the sloganeering and the ecosystem and built by the DMK. And the third was there is a cohesive alliance as far as the DMK is concerned. Now you are finding the reversal in the 2026. Number one, DMK alliance is now feeling the rupture. The Congress is flexing its muscles. They want to get more seats, a share of power, its own choice of seats, Rajya Sabha members, and its demand is the list of demand is getting longer and longer. Whereas on the other side, the ADMK alliance looks more cohesive. Numerically speaking, the DMK alliance looks strong, but chemistry-wise speaking, the ADMK is looking better. This is number one. Number two, the anti-incumbency. See, I will say the press, the media played a vital role in building up of the anti-incumbency. I watched the interview of Mr. Sriram Seshadri yesterday, and I concur with him on this regard. Even I have expressed the same to him. If the media could have expressed the fair reporting about the DMK government and the governance issue and the law and order issue and other issues, the people could have felt more convincing or more satisfied regarding the governance and where it has to be corrected. Rather than that, these people try to play an S-band approach, S-boss approach with the DMK government. They made a huge wall between the governance as well as the public. So because of that reason, though there is take for example the flood and cyclonic issues which the state faced a couple of years ago, the media began to paint that the people are enjoying the rains. On the other side, people are suffering a lot. What sort of journalism is this? So in case if the DMK government goes in the year 2026 elections, the first and foremost responsibility will be lying on the media. The DMK has to blame the media for a simple reason that they chose to be the yes-men rather than journalism, because it was all the planted. The journalism was also a part of this ecosystem. I know a very famous, editor of an English news daily, famous English news daily, though I don't want to name that person. He chose to be a cameraman of the chief minister rather than, I don't want to comment further. So such is the stature of those people. And you see, that is the fall of this government from grace. So if you ask a blunt question, so still the situation is evolving in such a way that the DMK was sitting in an ivory tower that there is no one could challenge us. That we are winning absolutely, and we are winning with more margins, and we are winning more than 200 seats. That was their claim a couple of months ago. Now, if you ask the same DMK supporters and voters, the confidence level has drastically come down, thanks to the alliance of the ADMK on one hand and the rupture caused by the Congress. Congress is not going to settle anything less. Whatever we are seeing now, it is just a beginning. The alliance, though the alliance may continue, I feel that Congress a DMK alliance might continue, but it will not be in the earlier chemistry as it was earlier. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, and we'll wait and see how this plays out. I'm very curious. DMK knows how to win elections, and they know how to rig things without appearing to rig. Even their corruption is so scientific that Sarkaria just threw up his hands and said, these guys do a very scientific method of corruption. Of course, Karunanidhi then became the teacher and taught all the other state governments how to do the same thing, I guess. But the overall sentiment is that the DMK combined might not make it. But see, the googly here is this fellow called Joseph Vijay. Joseph Vijay is now, looking between 8% to maybe 15%. Actually, it's going down fast. Because what has happened is that one Karur incident, 41 people dying, has really shaken him up because he doesn't know how to respond to these things. Maybe it's weighing on his conscience that these innocent people died. And the whole thing was, some CBI inquiry has found some WhatsApp messages from the same person that I was telling you, who was, let me just put up one thing interesting. This guy, Sendil Balaji, who evidently had sent messages to various ambulance owners to have, I think, 5 or 6 particular ambulances at a specific point. How did he know? So these are all things that are coming out in the CBI inquiry. But again, I would like to see one thing, see all the way to the end and the guilty punished. The Modi government amazingly doesn't seem to want to do that. I don't know why. Anyway, this is just my 2 cents. You tell me, the TVK alliance, is there an alliance first of all, and which way is Congress going to go? Are they going to go to TVK, or are they just holding out for more seats? Because I'm hearing that BJP has already got 35 to 40 seats.
Yes, actually, I'm not aware of whether there are some rumors and there were some news regarding the Karur incidents. See, what has really happened as far as Vijay is concerned, he started with a very big fanfare. It was really a big fanfare, and both the Dravidian parties were shaken by that, the crowd, for a simple reason. Because in today's contemporary political situation, gathering such a mass crowd is becoming very difficult for political parties. The logistical issues and to bring such people in one common place is becoming very difficult nowadays. Going by that, the Vijay factor, it is attracting a huge crowd just to see him, not to hear from him, just to see him. So this particular aspect had shaken these 2 political parties earlier. Now, what had happened in Karur incident was there was no big preparation, though we can blame the DMK on one side, but there are enough room on the side of the TVK also, that they have not taken the safety of the people into consideration. Because losing such a large number of people in a political rally was unheard of. 41 people, that includes women and children. So it was a very big blot in his political trajectory. What had happened is, after that incident, there is a mellowing down in his tone. He was not that much confident as he was looking. And earlier, when he started the political party, he said he will be heading the alliance and he will be giving an alliance politics. But it is not going in that direction. What happened was, what I heard was, along the political circles, he first approached the ADMK for an alliance when he started the political party, and his demand was 117 seats for himself and 117 seats for the ADMK. So totally out of the 234, 50% each. And the rotational chief ministerial positions, 2.5 years and 2.5 years. This was, discussed there. So at that time, I'm talking about 1 year before. This was the time Edappadi felt that, going with this TVK will be a blunder of its sorts. Let us renew our relationship with the BJP so that, the BJP being at a central government, also at the state level, it will help us, especially in the southern districts of Tamil Nadu. That is what, considering the fact that, at that time, Dinakaran and Pannirselvam were not there. Now Dinakaran is with the ADMK alliance. So that was the reason he renewed his alliance with the BJP. So now if you are asking the specific question whether Congress will go with the TVK, I don't think Congress will go with the TVK for a simple fact that Congress doesn't want to risk its memberships with their legislative assembly. You will get about 80 to 90 seats in sharing with the TVK, but you will not get a guaranteed, winners. But if you go with the DMK, they will be having a guaranteed winners. So the plan of the Congress is to show the, TVK as its bargaining point to milk more seats from the DMK. But what the real fun here is, the flexing of muscles by the Congress it is taking us back to 2011 time. If you remember, in 2011, Congress extracted 63 seats from the DMK at that time. There were a raid going on in the first floor of a DMK office, and the ground floor, there was an alliance talks happening with Mr. Karunanidhi, the then chief minister. And after the elections 2011, out of the 63, only 5 people won of the Congress. Mr. Karunanidhi, in his own way, he commented, they asked for 9 marks, that is 63 9 marks, but they returned as the Panchapandavas. So that was the performance of the Congress during that time. Now, if you see, they don't want to settle anything less than 40 seats, 40 to 41 seats. And I will not be surprised if if it forcibly extract those seats. DMK will sabotage as much as possible the Congress, so we can see a replay of what happened in Bihar with the Tejasvi Yadav, and in Maharashtra, in Delhi. Such things will play out in Tamil Nadu also. That's what I feel. More interesting.
Thank you so much. Let's take a few questions now.
Please.
Sai wants to know, FM wants to reduce speculative traders and hence raid STT. Fine. But this would also push retailers out. Would they be happy to play long by investing? No. Why? Long-term capital gains. Shouldn't that be down?
No, it could be addressed in the future budgets. But see, first of all, there is no free lunch. On one side, you have to take this call because there is no enough room for other areas. If you see the receipts on that, you cannot reduce the GST beyond that. You cannot exceed the direct tax also beyond that. So this is one side. On the other side, regarding STT is concerned, I still feel this is a temporary phase. The investors' confidence, retail investors' confidence will regain, because India, if you see, it is such a great economics. It will bounce back on its own. So we were the one very few countries who bounced back post COVID. Even during the most testing times, we have bounced back so effortlessly. The reason being the risk-taking ability of the Indian investors. So within the system, the Indian investors will play around. So you need not worry that though there is a issue of long-term capital gains, as you rightly mentioned, it could have been addressed at this time, but I don't know the reason why. But In the future, I believe at least in the next year, it will be addressed, and the investors' confidence will be back as they were earlier. A couple of days, that's it.
Next question, please. Thought provocateur wants to know, when can we expect our Tamil brethren to break the shackles of dynastic politics and identity politics?
See, it's very difficult because the dynasty and identity are the intrinsic part of Indian politics. So if you see, we can say that even educated people, they are not finding it comfortable. Take, for example, in places like, leave alone the Bimaru states like Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, those places, leave it. Even the educated states, even the developed states, they are not come out of the dynastic politics or identity politics. Even in Andhra Pradesh, even in Karnataka, even in Tamil Nadu, Kerala. So we can say ourselves that yes, we want to have a change in dynastic politics. The real problem is we need a political platform in such a way that it behaves like an open university. So inviting or encouraging people of different sorts of life to be a part of it, to want to usher a change in the political system. Unfortunately, what has happened is all the maximum number of the state parties are in the hands of the dynasts, and the national parties, there is a good opportunity, but the national politics doesn't suit the individual states. So this is the dichotomy here. I hope the politics will get matured enough in the future, if not immediately, to move out of the shackles of, as you said, both the dynastic politics and the identity politics.
Thank you so much, Srikumar. And that brings us to a close of today's program. We'll be back with Srikumar ji next Sunday, same time. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Jai Hind.